Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. We are continuing the series of sorting the 1 million beads and making earrings or jewelry out of them for purchase. So today, this is the first video in this series of where I'm actually sorting by color. Today is like a dark salmon and a rust, a little bit of brown. But what I've actually done is I pulled these beads out of a container. This is maybe a third or half of the container because I can't do all the beads at one time. It's not enough space, and also the video would be too long. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you exactly my process. I mentioned earlier that I make a lot of my jewelry in bulk because it's just better for me as a one-man show. So I'm going to show you my process today. So what I do is I take at least half of the box, or a third of the box in this case, out of the plastic containers. I lay them again on the lids, on the container lids, because the container lids actually have these curved edges that keeps the beads together. So today what I did was I spread everything out. I took a look at all the beads. One thing that I do is when I'm going through all of my beads here, I kind of determine, like, this is jasper over here, cornelian, there's some glass beads over here. These are wooden beads, but they didn't, the holes, I don't know if you can see the holes in these, the holes didn't go all the way through. So I'm just going to keep those there and decide if I'm going to drill a hole in those or figure out another way to attach them to something else. These are stone, cornelian stone rings, and I'm going to show you here what I did with these in just a moment. So I've separated this. This is glass, this is precious stone, that's jasper, cornelian, and then over here, I'm sorry, this is glass right here as well. This is glass, and this is glass. So I have these two, and this is just beautiful. I don't know if you could see it really good, but it has like a goldish type center in it. So it's kind of, it's iridescent, and it's kind of, what do I want to say? Transparent. Okay, and over here, I actually have my resin beads. And once again, I said that what I do is a lot of times I will separate my resin from my glass from my stone, because I have resin customers and I have stone customers. I have precious stone customers. Okay, and then if we're moving over here, I have some wooden beads, and I also have some bone beads here. And I think this is more of my stones, of my precious stones. And I have more glass beads here. Okay, on this side, I actually have my resin. Once again, I said I try to keep my resin separated from the stone beads, just so I know what I'm working with. Now, not to say that at sometimes I won't use the resin beads as fillers, because sometimes I do use these resin beads as fillers. But once again, this is, you can get your beads from anywhere. As you can see, this is actually a trim, a fringe. I've gotten decades ago. I think I got this when I was in Atlanta. But yeah, this is a trim. So you can get your beads for your earrings from anywhere. This is also a trim here. You can see that. This is a trim as well. And I do, when I'm working with the beads, I do actually keep everything in its own plastic bag. And that is because it can get out of hand real quick. Everything just starts merging together and you can't figure out what's what. So I do actually keep all those in plastic bags. Okay, the second thing that I do, and I'll bring this in so you can see it, is I bring in I always make sure to my right of me, because I'm right-handed, I have my findings. So this is actually with the loop on the bottom of it. I have my my head pin findings here. So I don't know if you could see it, but I have my head pin findings as well. And then also I have the jump rings. So I have the jump rings in here. And then I'll have some of my filler beads and my beads that actually stop my main bead from going through my stems. I keep those on hand. So those are something that I just grab as I am making my earrings. Also too, I have more beads. A lot of times I'll just have the beige beads on hand somewhere close to me. And this is because if I want to put a cowrie shell on the end of any of these beads, a lot of times the lighter beads, the cream color beads, the wood beads, these beads here, they're wooden beads, but this is actually a scrunchie. So once again, as I said earlier, you can get your beads from anywhere. And there's tons of beads on this scrunchie. I brought a bag of scrunchies. They ran, I think it was for a dozen. They were like maybe $5 or $6. So you can see I've got 12 of these scrunchies. So this is all these beads that I can actually use. So like I said, once again, you can get your beads from anywhere, from home decor, from hair decor, to trim, to upholstery. You can get beads anywhere, from placemats. Beads are just everywhere. And that's probably why I have a million of them. Okay, so I'll put those to the side. Now what I am going to show you, I didn't want to waste a lot of time, so I'm going to show you the beads that I actually did already. So we can go one by one. These are the jasper, and what I noticed, I was hoping that the bead was from top to bottom, but it isn't. The bead is from side to side. So I'm just playing around with this. I was just basically trying to see what I could do from side to side, but I am thinking, because they are side to side, the jasper over here, maybe if I can show it to you, you can actually see. Is to go through here with maybe some small beads, go around that other side, and then come up through this bead, I'm sorry, through this hole, and maybe bead it, and then come out on that side with the bead. But that's a lot of work, so I'm going to have to decide how I'm actually going to use these stones. But I was just playing around, so I kind of came up with something like this. Where I'm actually using two of the stems, but I would have to figure out how I would be able to finish it off at the top. So that's going to be a work in progress. I'm going to set that aside. Let's see. And let me move this over just a little so you can see. These beads came from, this was actually, let's see if I can pull it over here. This was actually a necklace. So I got the beads for these earrings off this necklace. Now these are actually stone or glass. I'm not sure. I know it's either stone or glass for these. So that would go in that particular category. But that just goes to show you, probably out of this necklace, and I don't know if I could have used the main part of the necklace already. I'm not really sure. Can't remember what that was. It's been a while. Like I said, a lot of these beads are decades old. But anyway, it just goes to show you how you can get maybe 3 or 4 pair out of a necklace. And like I mentioned earlier, this is glass. Okay, back to the stone, which I think is cornelian. And I actually decided this stone was just a stone like this. It had a hole in the bottom here, and there's the other hole. So what I did was, I was just trying to figure out a way. I mean, I'd really love something like this inside of it, something that's swirled inside of it. But once again, like I said, this didn't have the holes, didn't go all the way through. And they're not centered. I could possibly change that, but for right now, we're just trying to get through as many beads as we can. So we're going to have to do the easy work first, and then come back and do the difficult work once the beads are down to 500,000 instead of 1,000,000 beads. But that would have been a really, really sharp look with some different colored beads in between. Maybe pick up the black and the beige. But what I actually did was I used the beads that are over here. As you can see, this is more of the jasper beads and more of the carnelian. And I put a stem through the bottom, and then I loaded the beads on. I didn't like this look here. It just didn't scream anything to me. I don't know if I could have put something on the bottom, if that would have helped, but I think I need some color or something else in there. So I'm going to show you exactly how it works with the stem. I'll just pull the stem out, and as you can see here, how these are falling loose. What I did was I just put a stem through the bottom. You start actually loading the beads on the stem. So I would just load the beads on the stem like this. Once I got to the top, the very top, once the top bead is on, and you're all the way up, what I would do is I would lower, go back to the bottom, push your stem down from the top and lower it. And once you lower it like that, it lets you have space if you have beads filled all the way up to the top. I just will just show you here. Okay, if your beads are filled all the way up to the top here, and you want to get back in that hole, I just lowered the hole. I lowered the stem so I could fit this back in the hole and then push it back through. See here, the top of the hole like that. So you got your bead, back. And I would use a larger stem so I could grab this and turn and make a loop at the top, like the one I'm getting ready to show you now. Okay. Alrighty then. So this is similar to that, but it has a little bit more color with the jasper. And then the stem is larger, so you'll actually have something to work with to make your jump ring. And then I took a jump ring. Let's see here. Let me put this down first. A jump ring and then a cowrie shell. And this is for me to just kind of get an idea of how it looks. And I just put the jump ring through the cowrie shell. And then I just load the cowrie shell onto the earring. Okay, so the cowrie shell is not staying on because the loop is not closed. So let's see if I can do this better so you can see it. Maybe like that. You can see the cowrie shell. I even have it in here. Okay. Hope I'm staying in frame, guys. So yeah, so you can see that. So there's a cowrie shell on that. And I'll have to go back because I truly hope that this one that I showed you earlier, I actually had in frame. So that one there. Okay, and then moving along, let's see here. There's another one with the cowrie shell. And I'll show you that. So that's a cowrie shell look there. And these are the beads that are right here. So, right here. Those are those beads. And so it just gives it a different look with the cowrie shell. Okay. Put that back over there. And these earrings will be finished. I'm just kind of showing you my process. But these earrings will be finished. And they should be on the first and last page as soon as I finish them. And let's see. We're going back over here. So we're back over here with these. And I saw these both as glass. They were right next to each other. So I thought that that would give this a really nice look. Let's see here. I keep thinking I am in frame and I may be out of frame. So I'm going to scoot this over just a little. We'll work right here. So yeah, so I have that with this. And this gives me a really nice earring. Okay, now these were just, I can't remember like if these were like a square stone, or if they were considered like a square marble, or what they were, but I just put some glue on the back and then made it a post earring. So it just goes to show you, you can do so much with so little. Okay. And let's see, are we getting, okay, so now I think we're getting into our resin. Everything else is resin. So from this bag of jewelry here, or beads here, I was able to come up, and that's what I do. I just come up with all types of different styles. So you can see the different styles that. And then from that point on, depending on how many beads I have, I'll just make, you know, maybe 5 pair of them if I have that many beads, and then that gets me to my 50 pair of earrings with only 10 designs. So from this bag here, like I said, I just went through the bag, made sure I had enough beads to make the matching pair to it, and I just put them on the stems, and it just gives you all these kind of different designs. And for my resin beads there, and also for my resin beads over here, let me pull this out so I can show you. Once again, when we spoke about the trim that you can get anywhere and everywhere, and how many different pairs of earrings that this trim can make, I actually took the bottoms off of the trim here and made that part of the earring, and the center part of the earring came from a stretch necklace. So there are quite a few beads on here, and it was a stretch necklace, and that's where the center came from. And once again, over here, losing my train. Over here, these are more of the just a little small dangle bead. Let me see if I can get the other one in my hand. And this all comes from the trim. So you can imagine how many pairs of earrings you can get out of that trim. At least about 30 or 40 pair. So that just goes to show you there. Okay, and we have more resin beads, and those are from the beads that, okay, this resin here, and this is from the necklace here. So this was a resin necklace, and I just pulled it apart, and like I said, you can get a couple of dozen pair of earrings out of just one necklace. Okay, and last but not least, these were, and I'm trying to think where the leaf-like stone came from. I think this came actually off of a necklace as well. And that is resin. And this is either wood or resin, I'm not sure. But what I was trying to do was, as you can see how the earrings kind of go at a curve, I was trying this with the brass. The brass color bead, it's actually resin, that was on this necklace. And so I was looking at it with the brass, and I was also looking at it with the beads that are on the trim. Let's see if I can find. That's the trim here. So they're right there, there's the bead. That bead goes on this trim. So I was just trying to see how the different looks matched up. Because sometimes when it goes at a curve, your wire will show a little bit, but if you can get a bead really, really close to the hole, then it'll hold it tight. But yeah, this is just a different looking earring, just because of where the holes are located on the circular bead. So these are the designs so far that I've actually decided to make from this particular box, this part of the box. I didn't come up with anything yet for these. And I'm trying to remember, I think I got these beads from Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure why it's with this set instead of with the bronze color, but anyway, it was in the box with this. And a lot of times when you go through your boxes and you in your beads, you do find things that are in there that maybe shouldn't be in there. And possibly I could have had it with the beads here that are in this bag. But like I said, that's why it's so good to just actually go through your inventory, see where everything is, and see what you have. Okay guys, so for today, I think that's going to be it. I will finish off the beads. I didn't want to waste any more of your time of stringing them on during this session. I basically just wanted to show you what I started with and all the different looks. I didn't do anything with these. These, I think, I'm not sure if this is resin or glass. I'll have to figure out. It looks like glass, but it kind of feels like it's resin, so it may be resin. I err on the cautious side and then just say it's resin if I don't know if it's glass or resin. But this is just to give you an idea of my process of going through everything and getting through it swiftly and then lining everything up and putting them on stems. Like I said, I always keep my bag of stems close by near me, so I can just grab and bead as I'm thinking of what it is that I'd like to make. So we started off with the rust and with the salmon. I'm not really sure what color I'll be dealing with next, but I am going to show you some of my integrations within the beads. A lot of times, as well as the stems and as well as those beige beads, I do keep my hematite beads on hand as well, because the hematite appears to go with everything very well. It's like the dark charcoal grayish color, but it is supposed to have medicinal values to it. So this is all hematite, and this is also the pewter color, and it just tends to go with everything. So a lot of times I will keep that near me as well, and I will incorporate this inside the design of the earring, the jewelry, or whatever it is I'm making. Okay guys, that's going to be it for today. Thanks again for your time, and if you like this video, please like or comment and subscribe to our channel, and I will see you next time. Have a good one, guys.